What scares you more? The thing you might do but fail at, or the fact that you might never even try in the first place? I'm asking because in 6 weeks, I am packing a suitcase, grabbing my laptop, and flying on a one-way ticket to Buenos Aires for a year-long adventure in Latin America. Just me, my husband, my embarrassingly basic Spanish, and whatever fits in my brand new Samsonite. Am I terrified? Absolutely. Am I doing it anyway? Abso-fucking-lutely. And for weeks, I've been so deep in the logistics of the trip, finding tenants, packing our house, packing our suitcases, trying to organize 18 years of life in Singapore. I've been drowning in to-do lists. I've been so busy doing that I kind of forgot to feel anything about it. Then a few nights ago, my husband put on some Netflix show about street food in South America. And that's when it hit me. Holy shit, this is actually happening. In a few weeks, we'll be on a brand new continent, exploring new countries, eating new food, meeting new people, exploring new cultures. And I felt fear all at once. What if I hate it? What if something goes wrong? What if I'm too old for this? What if it's the wrong move? But here's the thing. Right behind that fear, there's this other feeling, real excitement, electric excitement. Because I also know that 5 years from now, I don't think that I'll regret this. I'll only regret it if I don't. So yes, I am scared, but I'm doing it anyway. Hey, I'm Noemi, former queen of bad habits and corporate go-getter turned well-being coach and personal growth junkie. And in a world full of overwhelming wellness advice, we're here to cut through the noise. This is your space to master healthy habits, transform your mindset, own your well-being, and design a life you love on your terms. We're ditching the highlight reels and embracing the whole messy, imperfect journey towards becoming our absolute best selves. You're the author of your own story. So are you ready to write the next chapter? Let's go, and welcome to Unwritten Potential. Hello, my friends, and welcome to Unwritten Potential with me, Noemi, in my house, which is looking like a war zone with boxes everywhere. And I think it's great to start this by remembering that your brain is designed to keep you safe. So that little voice in your head, the one warning you about everything that could go wrong, that's your amygdala doing its job, doing exactly what it's supposed to. You've probably heard of the amygdala. It's this tiny almond-shaped bit in your brain, and it's basically your internal alarm system. It's trying to protect you from threats. But here's the problem. This neuroscientist, Joseph Ledoux, he's done so much research on fear. And according to his research, our fear responses haven't evolved as fast as our world has changed, which basically means we're running ancient software on very modern problem. Think about it. Your amygdala doesn't know the difference between a genuine life-threatening situation and an uncomfortable situation. It treats giving a presentation at work the exact same way it would treat a threat to your life. The heart starts racing, the palms are sweaty, the brain is screaming danger, you get that tunnel vision, but you're not in danger, you're just doing something unfamiliar. So what does this actually mean for you? It means that feeling scared doesn't always mean you shouldn't do the thing. Sometimes it just means your brain is being a little dramatic. And we've all experienced it. You know that thing when you're about to do something new and that little voice in your head starts listing all of the reasons why it could go wrong. That's just your amygdala being overprotective. It's doing exactly what it's designed to do. But growth lives on the other side of comfort, right? I know. It sounds a bit like an inspo bumper sticker, something that you would see on Instagram. But it's also very true. Every single time I've done something that terrified me, I've come out the other side different, more capable, more confident, more me. Okay, so this is all well and good, but what can you actually do about it? Well, first thing, and this is so important, courage isn't the absence of fear. It's feeling the fear and taking the step anyway. I keep pushing myself in these situations where I'm like doing something for the very first time. And I'm always like, why do I keep doing this to myself? And that's because I'm always trying new things, whether it's, I talked about it recently, DJing at the Grand Prix, my career transition, launching this podcast and my newsletter, and now this Latin American adventure. And I was reflecting before recording this because I'd love to tell you I've got some exceptional character traits, some secret formula for courage that I could package and sell. But honestly, I haven't figured out where this comes from. Maybe it's a sense of adventure. Maybe it's curiosity. Maybe it's that annoying voice that whispers, what if? Maybe it's the fact that I need to prove to myself and the world that I can do all of these things. Or maybe, just maybe, the fear of regret is just bigger than the fear of the unknown. I don't know. I haven't figured it out. But here's one reflection for you. You need to ask yourself this question. What would you do if you weren't afraid? Not in some perfect future when you've got it all figured out, not when you're ready, because spoiler, you'll never feel ready. Not when the conditions are perfect, but right now, this week, today, what would you do if you weren't afraid? What would become possible if you were fearless or even just pretending to be fearless? Fake it till you make it, baby. What's one step, small, scared step you could take towards something that excites you and terrifies you in equal measure? Maybe to help you with that, here's an exercise, the 1% strategy. And here's how it works. Write down or think about one thing that scares you, just one. Don't overthink it. Now, take that and make it smaller, really small. If quitting your job scares you, what's the version that's 1% of that? Maybe it's updating your LinkedIn profile or having a chat with someone in a different industry or reading a book about something that you'd like to pivot to. If starting a business terrifies you, what's 1% of that? Maybe it's researching one successful business in your field or following someone who has done it before, or sketch out some ideas in a notebook. If traveling solo scares you, that does scare me, actually. I've never taken a solo trip. Isn't that sad? Anyway, if traveling solo scares you, what's 1% of that? Maybe you're gonna take yourself to dinner in a restaurant you've never been to on your own, or spend an afternoon exploring a neighborhood in your city that you haven't really explored before. The point here is you don't have to do the big scary thing right now. You just need to do the tiny manageable version of it. That's it. Do that 1% thing this week. You don't have to book yourself a one-way ticket to Buenos Aires. Because this is literally how I've approached everything that scared me. I always feel fear. I always feel imposter syndrome. I'm always like, who the fuck do you think you are for even trying, for even contemplating the idea of doing this? But taking the 1% step, you're building the confidence. And slowly, each step becomes bigger than the last. Here's one final thing I wanted to share on this. You don't need to have it all figured out, my friends. You don't need to be fearless. You don't need to know how it's going to all turn out. You just need to be willing to start. Maybe that's enough. Like, I'm 42 years old. I'm heading to Latin America with very basic Spanish. Am I terrified? Absolutely. Do I have it all figured out? Not even close. But I'm doing it anyway because the version of me on the other side of this adventure, she is going to be so much more interesting than the version who stayed comfortable. And I bet she's going to have tons of fun stories to share. Okay, my friends, let's bring this all together. And if you take one thing away, let it be this. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's feeling it and doing it anyway. So ask yourself, what would I do if I weren't afraid? And then use the 1% mindset. Write down one thing that scares you, make it 1% smaller, and do that this week. I really hope you enjoyed this short and sweet episode. If you're enjoying this podcast, please consider subscribing, and I hope to see you very, very soon. This has been Unwritten Potential with me, Noemi. Bye for now.